Natural physics is a concept astrophysicist Leroy Larry developed that explains in down-to-earth scenarios how the principles of physics could have come about from observing nature. Each episode begins with a scenario, followed by an example to illustrate the application of these principles in futuristic research at the frontiers of science, such as Leroy's astrophysics doctoral research at CINESPA, Center for Space Research, and then concludes with an exploration of how these same principles could have very well been used by ancient cultures and civilizations. Mathematics is naturally encountered and incorporated as the exciting and fun tool of science that it is. Science is the window into our amazing world of nature, and mathematics is the tool to open that window. Natural physics encompasses current, futuristic, and ancient physics, and ties them together by the principles of physics that are common threads running throughout each.
This is your show.
Greetings. I'm Leroy Larry, and welcome to Natural Physics, live from Costa Rica. As we were coming on, you may have heard a little undercurrent comment that said, "This is your show." And that came from my wife, who I will introduce in a minute. But everybody, guess who has finally made it back to our show from season 1? Mariela Bonilla. Yes.
Finally,
Yes. Oh, most excellent. Thank you,
so
Mariela.
much, I'm so happy for being here, really.
And everybody, Mariela joined us fall equinox morning at 5:20 so a.m. in the morning. She sure did. And we were so lucky to start season 2 out with her energy. And now that she's able to join us, most excellent, most excellent. And we have another guest. I would like to introduce my wife, Tears. I'm going to swing the computer around so she can say hello. Okay, here we go. There
Hi.
we go.
Hello, Teresa.
I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do this.
Just look into the light,
Hi.
the green light.
Which green light? Oh, hi.
This one.
There you go.
Ray, could you let us know if you can hear Tears okay?
Yes, I
All
think
right.
she's fine. Yes,
See,
it's fine.
I can't hear. So
Okay, you can't hear it, but okay.
Can I come back when I can hear?
Well, no, it's
That's why
okay.
people
Well,
call me Helen.
that's okay. All right. So, okay. So again, we have 2 guests today, and it's very possible that we will have another guest joining us. Tears' brother. Today is his birthday. His name is Damien Guide, and also Tears' other brother, Corey Guy, may be able to join us. If you could, Ray, could you show the picture of the 3 of them, Tirza, Damien, and Corey?
Damien has
There we go. There we
Damien
go.
has the cool necklace on.
So the bigger of the 2, which they're both big, that's Corey. And then Damien is the other one, and that's his birthday today. So there you have the big sister and her 2 little brothers. So happy birthday, Damien.
That was Neil Diamond Damien. October. Woohoo!
So
Ramblin' Rose.
it's possible that both or one or the other may be able to join us, but maybe not. Okay, so Tirza is going to be back. We're having technical difficulties with her being able to hear the broadcast. I mean, y'all, we can hear her, but she can't hear us. So we'll just continue rocking and rolling with the spheres. Okay. Now,
It's fine.
Marielle?
It's fine. It's fine, Leroy. Because as
Okay.
you should know, women like to be heard.
Women like to be heard, Mariella just said. Right on. And you know, Mariella, you weren't able to join us, but there was an episode where I talked about how women have been excluded from acknowledgement of their achievements that they've accomplished. And a lot of this is not in the history books. I came upon it from, they're called historical fiction novels that Tirza reads. And they're so cool because they are based on history, historical. And by the way, his story, right? Written by
Of
some
course.
man who's a member of the culture that's in control.
Of
His
course.
story, their side of the story. So these historical fiction novels, they they keep the historical facts true, but they put into it a lot of facts that you did not ever read in any history book. And an example was this actress from the 40s. Her name was Hedy Lamarr, and she was very popular, and she actually participated in the development of of an instrument that helped to win World War II by the Allies. I mean,
Really.
basically, it was an instrument, I guess, on a ship, uh, and you have torpedoes coming from a submarine. Well, the ship has the ability to jam the signal from the submarine to the torpedo so that they miss the ship. Again, if I'm misspeaking, please, I will apologize and correct myself. So, her and these other men, they developed this instrument. It's called frequency hopping, where the signal that you send, you know what? See, here we go. Let me back up. Submarines for the Allies. You had to send a signal from the submarine to the torpedo to guide it to the enemy ship. And the enemy was able to, if they were able to latch on to the frequency of that radio signal that went from the ship to the torpedo, they could scramble it so the torpedo would lose its navigation and would miss the enemy ship. So what Hedy Lamarr and these men came up with was a device. It's called frequency hopping, where the radio signal that they would send from the submarine to the torpedo to guide it to the enemy ship, the signal would hop around so that the enemy could not latch onto it and scramble it and misguide the torpedo. So this application of frequency hopping, it enabled the torpedoes that were sent from the Allied submarines to the enemy ships. It enabled them to be able to find their target and not get scrambled by the enemy. But do you think she was ever mentioned in any of the literature that talk about this instrument that helped win World War II for the Allied forces?
That was going to be my question, actually.
Zero, zero, Mariella, nada. I mean, it's like she wasn't even present. And actually, this frequency hopping has applications with the current day Wi-Fi. The way I don't quite, I'd have to read up on it, but what I did see was that whatever technology is used to enable frequency hopping is used with the current Wi-Fi technology. So there you go, right? Hedy
Right.
Lamarr, very famous actress during the 40s, significantly a part of the development of an instrument to help win World War II, but not mentioned anywhere. And real quickly, just because you missed it, Mariella, I also talked about Ada Byron Lovelace, who she was basically the very first computer programmer ever. I
Really.
mean, she wrote. Have you ever heard of her?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, she wrote the very first computer program. It's called Ada's algorithm, and it's basically the very first computer program that ever existed, written by a woman. And did you ever read about that in any
No,
history
of
books?
course not.
Not even, right? And in
And
fact,
I've read or I've heard that writers women writers used to change their names, and that's why J.K. Rowling, the Harry Potter writer,
Right?
she writes J.K. because she couldn't
Damien!
change her
Okay, I'm
name.
sorry. Please continue, Mariella. Oh, okay, this is unbelievable. I can't believe. Okay, please finish your sentence, Mariella. Please
No,
finish your
that
sentence.
I was talking about how women have to hide.
Right. We'll get
Yeah.
back to you. Okay, Mariella, this is Tears' little brother, Damien. Damien!
Damien.
What's
Hi.
up? Hey! Oh, my
We
goodness.
missed is the pictures.
Okay.
Are you the birthday man?
This is his birthday. How old are you turning, Damien?
48.
I'm 48 today.
48
Happy
today.
birthday.
I know how old
I
my
can't
brother
Thank
believe you
you.
is.
can't. Okay, you know what? Uh, let's. I'm gonna get rid of my headphones because Tirza can't hear this, and it's utmost importance. And we'll get the audio from the computer going. So everybody, bear with us. You know how we are with technical deals. So just bear with us. Okay, let me. Damn, this is awesome. I can't believe it. So let's disconnect.
You need the earbuds.
No, I'm gonna get it so everybody can hear us. Okay, so the microphone is still plugged in. You know what? I may have to. Let's see.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Can you hear us? Okay, hold
Cheers with
up.
water.
Ah.
I like it. Oh, see, this is what line is all. Okay, let me go to the volume. Volume. Okay, we turned up 100. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, fall. Okay. Can everybody hear us?
I can
No?
hear you. Yes.
You
Yep.
can hear us? You can hear us?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Uh,
I'm sorry. I got something in my
oh,
eye.
there we go. Can you hear us?
That's still you.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
Damien?
Yep.
Mariella, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. We're ready to rock and roll. All right, let's get rid of all this headphone, microphone stuff, and let's have a good old fun live broadcast on my brother in law's birthday. Yes, yes, yes. All right. Okay. All right. Excellent. Hey, Mariella.
I'm back.
Okay. Damien, let me introduce you to Mariela Bonilla. She's a teacher here in Costa Rica. She's up north in Guanacaste, and she's been a part of our show from day one. Okay? And Mariela, this is Damien Guy, my brother-in-law, Tirza's little brother. Okay? Yeah. And I don't know if he wants to divulge how old he turned today, but he's perfectly welcome to. Okay.
He did. We already asked him. He said
It's
48.
a
Oh, I
pleasure
missed
to
it.
meet you,
Okay.
Damien.
I'm 11 and a half years younger, so if I'm going to be 60 next year and we do a little math, I came up with 48.
Okay. Come over here, baby.
Good math.
Okay. All right. So,
How's your birthday so far, little brother?
It's great. I went to the doctor this morning and then I made myself some cocktails. So it's fantastic.
Right on. So is everything good at the doctor? Not pregnant or anything like that?
Yeah, no. Oh, I just look pregnant, but no. Everything's fine.
Oh,
It was just for my medication since coming out here in Tennessee, I don't have a primary doctor yet because you just can't get into one because of the
yeah,
COVID.
yeah, yeah.
Everything takes forever. So that was it.
I like your shirt, brother.
Oh hey, California refugee baby.
Right, right
now,
on.
Damien, can you explain that to you? Hey, Damien, we got listeners, right, who can't see us, but it's like they're listening to a radio talk show. But then we
Okay.
got people that are watching on YouTube and Facebook. So I'm going to describe to the listeners who can't see this tight T-shirt you got on. It's got the American flag, and underneath it, it says California refugee. And Damien, could you explain what that means, bro?
Well, just means we're lucky enough to get out of California before it got too crazy, and we're up here in Tennessee now. But I love California. It was a great place to grow up. I loved every minute of it. But what it's becoming now, and what everyone there is going through, it's not worth it anymore. I'd rather
Seriously?
enjoy my later years. Even though I'm only 48, I just want to enjoy my later years to where I can
Right
actually
on.
do some things and afford some things a little bit more. Being working class.
Right on.
Not struggling. You think you're not struggling, but you are, and then you come to a different place and you realize, oh, you were struggling. So, but we're not struggling
Uh,
anymore, so we're good.
and
Right on.
everybody, Damien and his family in California, they lived in, what was the area, Damien?
In California,
Yeah,
in Simi Valley, California,
in
Ventura
Encino
County,
Valley.
No, see me.
See
Simi
me.
Valley.
Okay, see me. See me Valley. And expensive as all get out, huh?
Yeah, as every bit of California for the most part.
Every bit.
Yeah, it's the housing. The housing is ridiculous, and
Well, the
there's no
taxes,
reason.
I mean,
There's it's ridiculous. There's no reason for it. There's no reason that a place that I'm living in here in Costa Rica, the same size, one bedroom, one and a half bath. I shouldn't have to spend half of my salary in Los Angeles to pay for my rent. I should pay 20, 25%, which yeah, that makes sense. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous. It's very sad. It's sad to see when I go back to Los Angeles to work. I don't know. There we are.
Yeah.
All the homeless people, and they're becoming more and more frequent as it gets colder because the homeless people in the Midwest, it's too cold for them right now, and the mountain range. So we get even more homeless. So the ones that we're getting off the streets now, which is wonderful, is really terrific. However, those sidewalks are going to be filled with the people coming in now as it's starting to snow in the other areas. So that's very sad. So California, unfortunately, when you're there for long term, it's just kind of lost its appeal for, like as Damien said, we wouldn't trade our childhood for anything, but living up there. But it's different, and I'm happy with that. We live in Costa Rica, and I'm actually I think closer to my little brother now that he's in Tennessee.
well, we're both Central Time now, so yeah, we're
Oh
closer.
yeah,
I
that's
would assume.
right. Time. There you go.
Mariella, have you ever been in the United States?
Yes, but not in California. I wish I could go, but well, now I don't know.
Where
I
where
have
did
gone to Florida, to Orlando, and Miami.
okay, okay,
There you go.
okay, yeah. Yeah. I mean I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and I lived in Southern California from about 1991 on. And as Damien said about how California has changed, I was very, well, just like growing up in Omaha, it's not like it was when I was growing up. And yeah, I'm glad I grew up when I grew up. And then I was at, and I'm eight, and I'm glad that I made it out to Southern California and was able to live out there when I did during the 90s, right? I mean, we're talking, what, 20 some years ago. And I'm glad I was able to see that part of California before it started becoming like it is now. Yeah.
Yes, actually, I have relatives who live there. My mom's father, my grandpa, passed when I was 2 years old, so I never met him, and he lived in California.
Do you know
And
what part of California?
I'm not sure. I think he lived in San Francisco.
Ah,
Beautiful
Yes,
city.
up north. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Uh, now, I went to undergraduate school and graduate school in the South, in Louisiana. In fact, my father was from Louisiana. My mother was from Illinois. But I mean, the South is a whole different energy than the West Coast. Totally different. And Damien, you going from Southern California to the South? How has that been, bruh?
uh, I mean, I'm still adjusting to it.
Sure.
Um, it is different. I mean, people always talk about how the people are in California. There's nothing wrong with people that are in California. They're just as nice, generous, courteous, all that. You come out here, you see the same thing, but they always have that bad outlook with California or West. We're rude people, but and then I come
Right.
around, and I the people I work with are they don't understand. They can't believe that I'm from California when they meet me. They
Okay.
don't believe that I could act civilized and be courteous and be grateful and be
Right.
helpful
Like
and
act
all that.
human from
Right,
California.
right. I'm
Okay.
all. I mean, that's everywhere.
Awesome.
But I mean, for the most part out here, they are all like that. They're all helpful. Um, they're all just sweet people. I'm just the landscape is mostly what I'm dealing with. Because I am in a town, Crossville, Tennessee. Um, it's very rural. We have two main streets basically that have some things on here. To put it in perspective, we don't have a Target. We have two grocery stores. We have a Walmart. That kind of a thing. We don't have much things like that. I barely have
Wow.
sidewalks. That's one thing
Wow.
that I keep telling people when they ask me what do you miss most about California. It's sidewalks because you can't walk around. You can't walk around anywhere. Everywhere it's either a
Oh,
ditch, a road, and a ditch. I can't get past that. I
that's
can't
real.
go for a walk in my neighborhood without being in the middle of the road. So there's just things like that. Weather, of course, is you got to get used to. It's already 30 something degrees at night right now, and it's been that way for a couple of weeks.
Ooh,
But I love
that's
that.
cold.
I know.
Okay,
I don't
hold
mind it.
up, Damien. Let's see. Okay, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. What's that in centigrade? Let's see. Mariella, you're the teacher. Help us out. Okay, uh, 30 degrees Fahrenheit is let's see.
Google it.
Okay, 30 degrees
What degrees
Fahrenheit is
Celsius?
that's 2 degrees below freezing. Freezing is 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're 2 degrees below freezing. So freezing in centigrade is zero, right, Mariella? Freezing is 0 degrees centigrade, I think.
Uh-huh.
So we're talking a little bit below 0 degrees centigrade. Oh, that's cold. Woo! Oh my goodness. That's why I'm in Costa Rica and not still living in Omaha, Nebraska, bro. Seriously. Oh my goodness. I mean, if you look, I left Omaha for college and went where? I went south. And then I left the south and where did I go? To Southern California. And then where did I go from there? Costa Rica. You see the serious progression of getting from colder to warmer to warmer. Okay. Okay. What?
Thanks, Ray.
Okay. Oh, Ray piped it in. Okay. 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 Get this. According to Ray, the omnipresent, all knowing Ray, 32 30 degrees Celsius is negative 1.111 degrees Celsius. And by the way, everybody, those of you listening and viewing, you can pipe in questions to us. Any three of us, all of us, yes. You can rate LEROY.com. You can just, or if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, you can just type your question in. She's pulling me back because I'm so excited. This is unbelievable. I have three live guests, right? I feel like I have three live specimens finally on the show. This is what it is so awesome. The fresh energy, the new energy. Thank the three of you so much. Okay, let's get back to what we were talking about, which
Yes,
so
I
that's
want to learn.
cold. That's cold, Damien. That is you know what? When I was growing up in Omaha, I remember that we used to have to, my father used to have to go out and start the car up and let the engine idle a little bit before we could actually go out and get in it and go anywhere. I mean, that's how cold, it was. I mean, that's what you're dealing with, huh?
It's called remote start. It's very
Remote
awesome.
start. Oh, they got that now where you can start your
Yes,
car from the, oh,
you
that's
can
too
start
cool.
your car from inside the house and get it ready to go.
And that came from space. technology. You know, it must have come from that being able to be done in space. You know, remotely control. That is so cool. Oh wow, my goodness. My father would have been so happy with that remote. Oh
No,
my
I remember
goodness.
stories. I remember stories of our dad living in Alaska, and they would have to, they'd park their car in an apartment complex, and they'd have to plug their car into a heater to make sure it didn't freeze overnight. So
Wait,
that's cold.
Chuck,
Yeah, Chuck. Yep,
He lived in Alaska.
he lived in Alaska. Yes.
He lived in the service.
Whoa!
He almost froze to
Yeah,
death.
in the service.
Oh wow!
With John Lopez.
What part of Alaska?
Cold part.
Oh, it's all cold.
A very cold part. Pick
Yeah.
a base out there, and that's where he probably was.
What time frame was this?
Late 50s.
Oh God, it was yeah, mid to
Late
late
Yeah.
50s.
50s?
Like he was 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. He was born in 39.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's very cool. I didn't know that, baby.
Well, that's also where he learned he couldn't drink because he went out with some of the fellas and got drunk and passed out in the snow and almost froze to death. So that's when he decided he was not going to be
Oh,
one.
oh, that would do it. Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
So yeah, he
Tears
would
of
have an
death.
occasional cold beer at the
Yeah,
beach, and that was about it.
yeah. A
Oh, I
couple of
can
shots of Crown,
understand that.
but I just say thankfully we live in warm climates.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Now,
Now,
it
what did I
makes
interrupt?
no,
No,
Talking
no.
about
dude,
this?
dude.
Have Ray show the picture.
You know what,
I would
Damien?
like to
This
see
is your
the
birthday.
picture.
This is your birthday. You have the floor. Uh, this is a big event for us because Mariella has not been able. Okay, there you go, Damien.
Thank you, Ray. You remember
Holy
that Neil
smokes!
Diamond concert there, brother?
Well, that's why I dress that way. Yes, I do remember that.
That was 2008.
There's choppers. Hey.
So let me get this straight. Your attire was meant to be close to what Neil Diamond would wear.
Just that era when he was around, the late
Yeah,
'60s, early '70s.
yeah.
So I had
Mariella,
my
Mariella, do you know Neil Diamond?
No.
Sweet Caroline. Dun,
ba,
dun,
ba,
dun. You
ba.
know that
Yes,
one?
I've heard. Yes.
You know that song? See, there you go. Right on. All right, all right. Oh, who's that?
Hey, is that who there?
Who's that?
Is that my niece?
She's working from home.
Tell her to come back and say hi, Damien, if you
Well, she
can.
will once she can wrangle up the dogs so they don't bark their asses off.
That's okay. This is live. That's what live is about. It's fun. It's not practiced. It's not recorded. No, this is
Honey, you
yeah.
coming back? She probably went back to work.
Okay.
Was that
Okay.
April?
I don't know.
Was that April or Shy?
No, it was my other wife. No, it was April. Yeah. Hey,
He's
I'm living
joking,
in Tennessee.
Mariella. He's
Come on now.
This is awesome. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Because people have gotten so tired of hearing me talking about these these spheres, and we've gotten to the point that the only thing we can do from now on is actually go to the tribe the indigenous peoples and talk to the elders. And by the way, everybody, I talked to a gentleman at the National Museum of Costa Rica. His name is Juan Carlos Calea. Mariella, he works with Francisco Corrales. And
Right.
he's a graphic artist. We're gonna get back to Damien because this is your birthday, but just real quickly, uh, he works with the head archaeologist Francisco Corrales, and he's a graphic design artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so he told us a lot about the Baduka. I just spoke with him this morning. He told me about what's going on in the Baduka village with respect to the museum and how they're getting it together, and his organization is helping with that. It's great. I will talk more about it, the next show. But right now, so we know what's going on with the village. We don't really have to go down there for the inauguration on December the 15th because they're playing it by ear. That's the best you can do, right? When you can get everything together and get it going. So yeah, it's all good. So with that being said, let's get back to my
Okay.
brother-in-law on his B-day.
Let's see your dog. Let me see your dog.
Scoot, do you want to say hi? Come here.
Which
Come say hi.
one?
Come here, Scoot. Come on.
Oh,
Oh, I should go get Balo and Dini.
No.
That's
Okay.
this is our Scooter.
Dada
He's
Bora
our
Bora.
Did you
he's
say
our
Scooter?
diabetic Scooter. Yeah, the
Scooter.
people who fostered him, we just respected them as they um we
How
respected
old is
their
Scooter?
they gave him that name, so we respected that and kept his name, even though Scooter
Right.
is such a lame dog name.
Ha!
How old
So,
is he?
I have
but
five. I have
what was
five
that?
dogs.
5?
Nice.
Yes, I have five. Three
So,
puppies. They are Australian cattle dogs, blue heelers,
Wow.
and two mixed breed.
There you go.
Yes,
Pull the camera back. That's
they
really
are
important.
noisy and they are lovely.
I
oh,
remember it.
that,
It was so cool to be able to hear them barking in the background that one episode. That was great.
Yes,
That
all
was
the time.
awesome. Yes, that was great.
come here, jealous.
Hey, how old is Scooter, Damien?
Oh,
Oh,
Um,
so
this is
cute.
Sawyer. He gets a little jealous.
Sawyer.
Sawyer's
Yeah,
been around a long time.
Sawyer's 8
Now,
years
how
old.
how old are they, Damien?
They're all roughly. I mean, we range from 11 to I think 7, 8 years old. They're all rescues, so it's kind of a tough,
Right on.
based on
Right.
basically how long we've had them. Um,
Right.
so we have the 7 of them, and they're all rescues.
Right.
Foster fails. We just fostered them and then just fell in love with them. This guy decided to be diabetic about 3 years ago for some reason. So now he gets 2 shots a day. And then we're just thankful we actually did adopt him or take him because uh, who knows who would if they would have dealt with
Right.
giving him shots and taking care of him and stuff like that. So
Right. Totally. Totally.
Right on, Damien.
That's very cool, bro. Our boys, Balu and Dini, they're rescues too. And our first kid, Osco, he was a rescue. And I mean, I would say any human being that has never felt the love and affection from a four-legged person or winged, feathered, they're missing out on so much. I mean, it's that unconditional love, right? They don't care what you look like. They could care less. It's just they love you. And I mean, that's the ultimate, right? And they're people just like we are. They got their personalities.
uh,
Balo, we call him D'Artagnan because he kind of has this standoffish attitude. Balo is what, 6 years old now, and
Yeah.
he's black and white cat. Dini, Tirza found he looks like Ocelate. He's 5 years old now. Tirza actually found him. Why don't you tell a story, babe? Tell a story how you found Dini, the
Oh,
Ocelate.
yes. My husband was on the way home from Nigeria, and I knew he would want some scotch. So I was going to the store
Oh,
to get him some
ouch,
scotch.
ouch,
Shocker.
ouch, ouch,
And so as I'm approaching
ouch.
the park, I see this little tiny kitten on the wall, and there's two men standing there. And as I walk forward, they proceed to tell me they found the kitten in the trash. So when I put my hand down on the wall, it licked my hand. So I said, I guess I have a cat now. He's 5 weeks old, and we got him all cleaned up. So when Leroy came home from Nigeria, you all saw his outfit from last week. Once I recovered from my fit of laughter, um, that went on and on and on and on, a fit of laughter. And he finally got in the house, and then he said, all right, what's that sound? Because I was trying to, it'd be a secret. But just like Deanie, his name's Houdini. Deanie, 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 Houdini. So that's what Leroy came home to a cat, and I came home to the outfit.
And you know what, everybody? Actually, we have film footage of they like to wrestle together. I mean, they're hermanos, they're brothers. We're so lucky because we've had people tell us that they have cats who don't like each other. They hiss at each other, and these two, they are brothers. So I'll show some film footage of the two of them in a future episode. But
And
what I
our bird.
yeah, and actually, this last trip when Tirza came back from LA, our close family friend Carlos Rojas, who's driving her from the airport, they came upon a green parrot in the road,
A crimson finch.
a crimson parrot that was kind of dazed.
Crimson fit.
Okay, and they brought him. They stopped, picked him up, brought him here. So we have a bird in the house too, who I will introduce you to also later. But I have quite an idea, Mariella. I don't know if you can get all your group together uh, in one sitting, but maybe we can all introduce all of our family members, four-legged, winged, all
Yes,
of them. We can
will be
introduce them all together on a show, huh? What
it
do you
will be
think,
great.
Damien? Would you be
Yeah,
down for
yeah.
that? Have you yours together?
Oh, I've
Yeah.
got two already down. So
Okay. Okay.
We're not. We don't. We can't
But
get the
but
bird.
now I am at the school. I am at the school.
Oh,
I'm not
there
at
you go.
home.
Right.
That's why I can
Right.
show them.
That's
But
right.
I want to
That's
tell you. I want to tell you my story with the dogs. Well, first
okay.
we adopted the two grounds, the two mixed, and then we wanted to have one cattle dog, and we chose one. My father-in-law wanted another one, but then when he was growing up, when the puppy was growing, he said, "Okay, I can't separate them from the group, so he has to stay with you." So he's with us, and we went to get the dogs. There was this little dog. It was a female, and she was very ill. And the owner told us, "Okay, would you like to take it because nobody wants it?" And we kept her, and she's still with us. That's how we have
Yay!
three cattle. Yes.
Yes.
uh,
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
she's been ill. She's got all the illness possible, but she's still alive.
Right
She's
on.
okay.
Yes. Yes. Um,
And
Balo.
actually, she's deaf.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
What'd you say?
The little dog is deaf.
He's
Oh.
seriously. Wow.
She's deaf. Yes.
Wow. Well, Balo, the older brother, he has something going on with his eye. It leaks. So
He doesn't have a tear
a
duct.
tear duct.
He doesn't have.
So he doesn't have a tear duct. So we found out that his older sister had been adopted, but nobody wanted Balo because he had this condition. So I mean, and you know what? I read somewhere or I watched a program where they said that rescue animals, they know, they know that you rescued them. They know that you saved them, and they return that knowledge by that love and that. I mean, it's just that's
Absolutely.
a win-win, yeah, and so and then Dini Biasalat, uh, we saw the moment when Balo accepted him as his little brother. I mean, we saw it actually. Balo had been kind of standoffish and kind of, who's this? And who's this little? Because Dini was the smallest thing we've ever. I mean, he fit in the palm of your hand. That's how little he was when Tirza found him scrummaging for food in the park. And uh, so Balo was, hey, what's up? And we watched him warm. And like I said, Balo, we watched him warm up to Dini. We watched him start to love Dini and accept him as his little brother, just like a human would do. I mean, it's
Just
just
like me and you, Damie.
right.
it's the priceless things you get to witness, right? That just, I mean, it's priceless. And and just like little brothers do, Deanie can be such a pain in the behind to Ballo, and he takes it. He's the big brother. He just really puts up with it. He could really whack him, but he just puts up. It's just so great to observe that. So, oh yeah, I just want to say that. Okay.
I
Uh,
hope that when the time comes that Leroy goes before the children, because it would be hell to live with him. That's kind of all I got to say on that one.
Did I go where? Traveling?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Sure.
you. Yeah, right on.
Traveling to
Luckily,
outer space.
Hey, Damien, I wanted to ask you now, Mariella, Pooh Bear, we call her Pooh Bear, but her formal name is, please,
Cheyenne Angeline.
Cheyenne Angeline. And how
Uh-huh.
old is she now, Damien?
She'll be 17 in February.
So, being a 17-year-old,
She's 16.
Mariella, how old is Gabriel?
He will turn 15 next 27 in 10
Okay,
days.
2 years. So imagine taking a teenager from Southern California down to Tennessee. Man, how's that going, Damien? I mean, how's that with? I mean, she's a teenager, 17. That's when you're rocking and rolling. I mean, you're about to graduate. You're coming upon the end of high school, and hey, how's she doing, bro?
Well, obviously, she actually was one that actually made us come up here. To be honest with you, she visited with April, and she would come up here all the time. She fell in love with it. They just fell in love with it, and then in California, they're not back then. They weren't allowing kids in school. Everything was online. So, but up here wasn't the same thing. They were actually in class and doing that. So she's actually halfway through, or I guess we've been up here for a year, so she did go to school as a sophomore. She finished her sophomore year up here, and now she's a junior. Um, but she loves it. She has a bunch of
Yay.
That's
friends.
awesome.
She gets to go out and do things, and she's got some good church friends, which is really weird to me.
Whoa.
But she's got some
Did you say
friends that are
church?
really good church friends.
Church
She's
friends?
got friends that
Oh,
are in the
very
church. They
cool.
go to church
Very
and they do
cool.
that. And
Very,
that's something she found on her own because obviously Tirza would know that's not pushed in our family. You do what you want to do. So, but I'm thankful that you know she chose that path because she's hanging out with some really good kids. So,
that's
Yay.
great.
of course, there's a couple of bad apples in there, but I mean, she weeds them out, and she's such a good kid, and I'm very thankful to have her, and how she is, and she's just so helpful with everything. She's just an awesome kid, and she just loves it up here, so it's fine. You know, I came for them. We basically bought this house before I even stepped foot in this state, just because that's what they wanted to do. It would make them happy, so be it. Let's try a new adventure. So
Yeah.
she loves it.
Yay.
They love it. Yeah. So
You
Yes.
never know
Actually,
unless you do it, right? Unless
actually,
people can tell you, oh, this location is like this, it's like that, da di da. But until you go and you see it for yourself and your perspective of it, how you take it, oh, that's awesome, Damien.
mhm.
Whoa. Does she ever talk
actually,
about, oh, I'm sorry.
actually, 4 years ago, I moved from the city. I moved two preteens to the beach, from the city to the beach, and they really loved
Yeah.
it. They
I would
really
love to
loved
Damien,
be
it.
too.
I, Marielle, I remember you talking about how when you lived in the city, you used to go to the beach every now and then, and it's
Yes,
not the same as when you're there and you can experience that every day and
right.
the nature,
The-
yes.
Damien, let me give
Absolutely.
you where Mariella's at. Basically, she lived in our neighborhood area here in the Central Valley. So
Mhm.
she basically, so just think of Los Angeles. Think of Hollywood, living in
Mhm.
Hollywood, and she basically moved up to the San Francisco by the beach, about 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours away, depending how you take. So she's on the
Mhm.
North Pacific versus
Okay.
being in Hollywood. That's where she moved to. So I kind of went
That,
the opposite way,
Hmm.
but we're lucky enough that it's similar where we lived in Los Angeles. West Los Angeles, Southern California, that we were just maybe 10 miles from the beach, but it would
Right.
take you an hour to get there, if not more, because of traffic. Some similar to here sometimes, depending on the season. But other than that, we need to go to your end next year because I have a trip. Both of you. Yeah, I have to go. I have to go visit my brother in his new house, and my sister-in-law, and my niece, and all the little happy critters, and make the rounds. Dolores and Scott are in Georgia. And do you ever go see Aunt Sandy?
Or you all can come to Guanacaste.
Well, we have relatives in North Carolina. I guess so. Damien's just been staying in Tennessee golfing.
No, not golfing, but no, I've been out in Georgia. We've been to Kentucky. Um,
You haven't golfed out there?
no, I have no friends. I mean, I basically came up here by myself, so I don't.
Um,
The
I hear
families
they
that
have some. I'm
go
sorry,
ahead.
I've heard that your area has some of the best golf courses are in
Yeah,
Tennessee in the
that's
country.
what I hear too. It's like the best golf training center in Tennessee. I still haven't seen a golf course, so I don't know. I guess the routes I take, I don't see golf. But my the father-in-law, they and my mother-in-law just purchased a home about 10 minutes away from us. So
Right
yeah, so they're gonna take a few years to move up here eventually, but they're gonna use it right now for like maybe an Airbnb or something like that. Come in and enjoy it from some time in the year. And so once they come up, maybe I'll turn my father-in-law into a golfer. We'll see what the hell happens with that. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Cheyenne doesn't like to golf.
to be honest with you, ever since we got together and I just got so busy and the friends got so busy, I haven't golfed in probably over 10 years.
Are you
So
kidding?
no, I know, isn't that scary?
I wasn't aware of that. I'm aware now.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you know what?
Wow.
Next, yeah, because we start our 10th year in January, so that's around the time that we were getting ready to move. So that's kind of the last time. Wow, I think maybe even one of the last times I played golf was with you.
Could have been.
Could have been Manhattan Beach.
But
There you go. Great
same
three
thing,
par.
yeah.
Love
Wow.
that three par. It was a
That was
great three.
fun. It was a fun little course, yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Um, I I'm curious about one thing, Damien. Did did Pooh Bear, did she make any comment about the friends that she's made in Tennessee and how they compare with the friends that she had in in California? I mean, it'd be interesting to if there was a difference for her.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. I mean, up there, her best friends, that she went to school with, a public school, they decided to go to a private school, and that's when she really noticed the changes in from public to private. Because next thing you know, the things they were talking about meant nothing to her whatsoever. It was all material, and this and that, and who's doing what, and who's doing this, and um, so I think that was part of it too. Those were her closest friends, and then when she came up here, I guess it's different in that way. I mean, they're all kind of wholesome kids, and there's just not that much. They're all kind of down to earth. They range. We're close to a place called Fairfield Glade, where they make more money up there.
Mm,
People in Crossville not so much, but they all go to the same school. But they all seem to
hmm
co-mingle. That they're fine. They mesh together just fine.
hmm
So I don't know. She just doesn't. She has. I would say she has more close friends up here than she did out there in California. So,
Interesting. Wow.
and like I said, she has her church friends and stuff, and that are big in church. This is a very big. I mean, it's called Crossville for a reason. Uh, church is big.
Ray, can we get a
Yeah.
drum roll? It is called Crossville for a reason.
Yes. So there's more churches out there.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Crossville for a
So
reason. Right
yeah,
on.
I mean, we
Okay.
probably have. I mean, just in my neighborhood alone, I'm There's probably like 10, 12 churches within a mile of me, 2 miles. I mean, they seem to
Whoa.
be on every corner. Yes, they're on every corner. I don't know where these people come from because we're a town of 15,000, and then we have 15,000 churches. So I don't understand what's going on. So
Oh, that's classic, man. That's Church Alley, right?
yes, most definitely.
Oh my goodness, that's so interesting. That is and they all, they all have their deity, right? They all, I mean, it. Oh
Yeah. Oh
my
yeah.
goodness. And ancient civilizations, they each had their deity. As Mariella said last season, the spheres. Oh, watch this segue. Badoom, badoom, badoom.
Yeah.
Mariella said that the spheres were a way for the people to be close to their gods, right? To be able to be close. So here you have Church Alley in Tennessee, Crossville, same thing going on. People wanting to be close to their God. Very interesting. Wow, wow, wow. It hasn't changed over 3,000, 2,000 years. We want to be close to the Creator. Very, very cool, man. Wow, wow. That's excellent, Damien. Congratulate. You know, I kind of did the exact opposite. I had to get out of the South. Reasons that you may well imagine, right? Okay, I just have one thing to say. Can you imagine me and your sister with her uh, demeanor traveling through some of these little bitty towns in Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and being a whole different culture than what she grew up with in Southern California? Uh, And can you just imagine the potential of trouble that we would get into? Because I mean, uh, everybody. I mean, the world is a much better place now, thankfully, and I mean, it's always about being intelligent and getting rid of ignorance, right? Ignorance in any shape or form is not good. And and the thing that my parents grew up in the era um, following World War II. My father actually was a Buffalo Soldier. Bob Marley, Buffalo Soldier song. The regiment that he served in World War II was actually descendant from the Buffalo Soldiers, who they were given that name by the Native Americans, the indigenous peoples of North America, because they fought so fiercely. African American soldiers who were called Buffalo Soldiers because they fought like buffaloes. And and my father fought in a segregated unit. I mean, you listeners around the world, can you believe that in World War II, African American soldiers were not allowed to fight side by side with white soldiers? I mean, I don't know what kind of mentality, that's the same kind of mentality that has excluded women from being acknowledged for the accomplishments that they have given to the world. And so um, I just, I'm so happy that the world is better than it was when my parents grew up. And Mariella, right here in Costa Rica, I heard a story that on the Caribbean side in Limon, there was a period of time where the blacks could not catch a train from Limon up to San Jose. Is that true?
Right, right.
Wow. And what time frame was that?
I'm not sure. I don't know, but I know through the history that it happened.
Yes. So it's around the world, people, human beings. I guess that's an unfortunate side of human nature to take advantage of another culture. And my great grandmother was Native American, North American Cherokee, and the indigenous peoples all around the world have been really treated not in a well way. and so in the United States, you have tribes all across the United States. In the South, you had the Cherokee and the Seminoles, like in Florida. On the plains, you had the Sioux and Apache in the Southwest. Here in Costa Rica, you have the Boruca, the Bree, and so back to our endeavor to try to help the Borucas regain their knowledge of the spheres. It's great, and I mean, it's coming up on 2 o'clock, and we have plenty of time. Damien, are you in a rush to get anywhere?
No, just to make another cocktail so I can hang out and listen to some things. I really
Oh,
was interested in hearing a little more about the spheres
okay,
and any other things.
okay.
Like, I mean, I have watched your podcasts back in the day, so I see the chisel on this, and this. Nah, I
And
see things.
Mariella
So,
did, yes,
yes,
yes.
I knew
That's
she
a
couldn't
great.
hit it. We get it. Yes, but
Isn't that the most awesome demonstration? I
I,
mean, and she was so careful not to,
of
not
course.
to injure the rock. She
Yes,
respected
yes,
it.
but
She
Yeah.
if
just,
you saw it careful, when I said exactly when I said, I'm not trying to destroy nature,
Of course.
and a piece of rock falls down.
most excellent. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Now, and Mariella, you're okay on the time?
Yes, I'm fine. Yes, of course.
Okay. So, Ray, if we go over 2 o'clock a little bit, is that okay? Uh-oh.
No, no.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Before
Ray might be saying no,
before
no, no.
we go, or before Ray answers, I want to let you know that still nowadays, when, for example, when we go to a hardware store, when women go to hardware store, men look at you like if you weren't supposed to be there.
Like you don't know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly.
Unbelievable. Unreal. And you know what? When I was talking about Ada Byron Lovelace, now she was the daughter of Lord Byron, and I learned this from the fictional novels that Tirza reads. She was the daughter of Lord Byron, who was a very close friend of Mary Shelley, who wrote Frankenstein, right? One of the great classic novels. So, and then the movie Hidden Figures. The women, the African American women, who before computers came around, they were the ones who, with pencil and paper, calculated the trajectories for all the early NASA space missions like Mercury and Gemini, right? I mean, but you would never read that in any history book you ever come across. And I'm sure, Mariella, that here in Costa Rica, there are women that have made significant contributions that people may not know about, right? I mean, just like all over the world, right?
Absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah. And so, okay, Damien, here's the deal with the spheres. Now,
We have 15 more minutes.
I tell you what, Mariella, I would like to have a native Costa Rican tell you the background of the spheres, and then I'll tell you kind of what I did. But Mariella, take it away. Yes, yes, this is awesome. This is awesome. Okay, okay.
Well, I don't know if you have seen the spheres in any images or pictures. Well, it's supposed that they were made, or they were supposed to be a calendar. They were supposed to be a calendar which predicted eclipses. We're not sure who created them because it's very difficult for humans to create them, and there are different theories. And well, they were destroyed. Sadly, they were found in I don't remember 1930 something. I don't
Hmm.
remember
Hmm.
exactly, but well,
Yes.
rediscovered, right? And they were destroyed because they were looking for gold in their center, and some of them were stolen. So nowadays it's very difficult to realize if they were a calendar because they are not in the same order. Another theory says that they were part of the families. They were created by families because they were built in front of houses, in front of each house. So it could be a hierarchy sign. Yes, and
Yes.
they are perfectly rounded. That's what is awesome. That they are perfectly rounded, and it's difficult to create something like that in those materials.
And, and
Was there?
Damien,
Sorry.
uh-huh.
Were you able to like date the time of when the rocks or anything like that? The carbon dating, was that done, or is that possible? Find out how old
So,
they are, or
like in 3,000 years ago, was it? I'm not sure,
so
Yeah,
there's
but
no
I
way
they've been.
they would have the tools to make something like that. That's
no,
basically.
no, no, they
See,
didn't.
that's why I wanted to get to the ancient alien kind of thing too. I want to talk to you guys your opinions on those kind of things when because I watch that show and I see these these pictures and these paintings and these buildings and I can't believe how they could actually get that done without some kind of help. I mean, I want to say it out loud. It's hard for me to say it out loud, but I do believe they probably did get some help. From where I don't know, but it is there's some strange things out there you can't explain. I think.
Yes, actually, they say that the Borucas created their own tools, and they are in the museum. They are currently in the museum
Okay.
that we're going to visit, right, Leroy?
That's right. And okay, I feel like a kid in a candy store with you two on here. Okay. Now, Damien, these
Mm-hmm.
spheres, they're they're not found anywhere else in the world. I mean, you have pyramids in different parts of the. I hope I'm not repeating myself, but you have pyramids in other parts of the world. The ones in Egypt, they have the smooth surface, and then in Central America, you have the step pyramids, but they're pyramids, right? Spheres, such as these are, the area that they're found in within Costa Rica. Now, Costa Rica is about 51,200 square kilometers. The area within Costa Rica, the southern part of Costa Rica, which is called the Diqui Delta, basically the area amounts to about 10 square city blocks. 10 hectares, which is a hectare is a tenth of a square kilometer. So just kind of approximating, you're looking at about 10 square city blocks in all the world where these spheres have been found. And they range in diameter from a couple of centimeters to 8 meters across, the ones that have been found so far. And they are almost perfectly spherical. And the reason why I say almost is because of time erosion that has deteriorated them. But there was a sphere that was just recently found back in May in the ground. I'll send you the picture, but when they excavated it, it is smooth. It is perfectly spherical. I mean, it's unreal. And the date that these spheres supposedly were constructed was from about 200 AD to 700 AD. And the thing about it is that even though the Borucas are credited with having the most knowledge about them, there's a very possibility that there's an indigenous peoples that existed prior to the Boruca that were really responsible. But you got to start from the Borucas to try to find out. They're the closest thing we have that we know of to try to find out who, when, why, and especially how they were constructed. And if you ever lean up against one of these spheres, Damien, they are just so solid.
Wow.
Look at that. Thank you, Ray. They're just so solid. I mean, one of the rocks that they're made of is called gabbro, Gabbro. It basically has a density of about 3 grams per cubic centimeter. which which winds up being 3,000 kilograms per cubic meter. I mean, that's dense. And then some of them are made out of limestone. I mean, and they're found on mountain hilltops. And it's just, I mean, it's just, and the thing about it, you have so much literature that's been written on other archaeological artifacts, the pyramids, Machu Picchu, Teotihuacan, Chichen Itzu. Nothing, hardly nothing is known about the spheres. And it just makes you wonder, what is it about that little bitty area of Earth that this mysterious enigma was done? And it exists. It's not like it's some imagination fantasy. They exist. They exist. So they had to have been made somehow by somebody, some way, because they exist. It's not like a black hole or a white dwarf, which, that's cool and it's very mysterious, but we're never going to be able to go out there and get up close and personal to a black hole or a white dwarf or a quasar. These are right here, and they're just as mysterious. They point to an ancient knowledge that we don't have a clue of. And if we could just get some kind of little peek into what whoever did, what they did, when they did. And Mariella last season, she said that in the journals of the expeditions of the conquistadors, Cortez, who came here back in the 1500s, it's documented that the peoples would gather in the land of the balls. Oh my goodness. It's such a mystery, Damien. It's just, I mean, it's just such a mystery, And you got to figure these spheres, the one that's 8 meters across. Okay, the one that I'm standing next to on the university of the campus. Yeah, thank you, Ray. Okay, we calculated using physics and mathematics, geometry and algebra, and using the density of Gabbro rock, that it's probably about 10 tons. Because I'm about 6'3" without my afro. I'm probably 6'1". But anyway, but we figured it's about 6 feet in diameter, which is about 1.8 meters. So if you use that in the geometrical equations that give you the volume of a sphere, if you know the radius, which in this case would be 0.9 meters, and you use the density, you get that it's about 10 tons. How do you move that, Damien? How? What? How many human beings would you?
You know,
Okay, okay.
tell them, baby. Okay. So when we went to the Think of Six, which was the museum that we were able to access on our trip September. Anyways, they had some displays, and I took a picture. And the sphere was the size of a bowling ball, and it was 50 pounds. 50 pounds. So what's a
Right.
bowling ball average? Normal weight 12 pounds.
12,
So it was
15 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So if the size of a bowling ball is 50 pounds, and you're just in his description of his rock,
Yeah.
that's pretty heavy, honey.
And the thing is, Mariella said, she spoke with one of the head archaeologists at the National Museum of Costa Rica, and he said that they had determined that special tools were used to shape them. But Mariella, correct me if I'm wrong, they didn't really have an idea of what these special tools look like, right? So far.
No, not all of them, but some are in the museum because they were found next to the spheres,
Okay.
but only a few of them.
And how were they used, right? Okay, now we got a little look at this. So tools were used, but how, right? And when you see how solid, and Damien, when Tears and I went down to where the Diki Delta, there's film footage of walking through the jungle, and you just try to imagine. Figure this: if you wind up with a 10-ton sphere, like in the picture with me, it means you pretty much started out with a block of solid granite, solid rock, with probably 14 tons. I mean, to get that sphere, the raw material you started out with is much more, right? I mean, you had more raw material, and to haul that from a quarry somewhere through dense jungle, across rivers, through streams, it just gets better and better on the mystery. And some of them have been found on top of hilltops. Okay, top of hilltops, not level ground, not valleys, just any kind of terrain you can imagine. And it just, I mean, this is a true mystery. It's a true mystery, man. I mean, yes. What'd you say? Oh, we can't hear
We
you,
can hear
Damien.
you. We can hear you.
I can't hear you. Okay. I still can't hear you, Damien. I can hear you, Mariella.
You can hear me? Can you hear me, Leroy?
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you. Yes,
Damien,
I
can you
can
can
hear
you hear us, Damien? Oh, Damien, you might have muted your mic. Try unmuting your mic. I just got a message from Ray. Okay? I hear
And
something.
actually, we have 1 minute left.
We have 1 minute left. Okay,
Yes.
baby, why don't you stay for the last minute? Okay.
Hi, Damien.
Damien, can we hear you? Oh, try unmuting your mic. Is your mic muted?
It's okay. Happy
Okay.
birthday, Damien.
It's
Thanks
all
for
right.
joining.
Happy
Well, we got a
birthday.
minute. Hey, so Damien, anytime. Okay, bro. Okay, brother-in-law. Okay, this is so much fun. And it's great to get your perspective. You don't know how happy I am to hear, Dame. Can you hear me, Damien? Do a thumbs up.
Yes, he can.
You don't know how happy it makes me that you listen to some of our show and you got interested in the spheres. That's, bro, that's what I wanted, man. I wanted that's awesome. Okay. All right. So, in closing, Mariella, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Finally,
you so much.
if I could
Yes.
hug you, I would hug you. Okay. All right. And
Virtual hug.
baby, you want to say anything in closing?
Yeah, Mariella, nice to see you again, and thank you so much for all the time and that you do with all these kids, being a teacher, and being patient with my husband as well. And little
Thank
brother Damien, I
Yes.
love you.
Oh, now
Yeah,
we
we
hear
hear
you,
you.
Damien.
I
Okay.
thought, you know what happened is I received a phone call a few minutes ago. I think that screwed it up a little bit.
Okay, that's
Okay.
why.
Right on. Right on.
Mhm.
Okay,
All right.
happy birthday, any
Thanks,
time
sis.
zone, and love to the family. And I'll talk to you later. I love you.
Love you.
Mwah. Love you.
And
Bye, baby.
Damien, we can get April, your Pooh Bear, the four-legged kids, her friends. We can do whatever we want on this podcast. I mean, we can. This is fun. This is what it's all about, talking, and that's how knowledge is transmitted. So, thank you so much. What an awesome broadcast, Damien. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mariella,
And thank you too, Ray.
Ray, of
Thank you.
course. Ray, I told you I'd finally get some guests on here. I finally did. All right, Mariella, thank you so much.
Thank
Damien,
you.
thank you. All right, baby, come here. Let's
Okay.
say goodbye.
Okay, bye.
All right, we're
Okay,
gonna
bye.
we'll
Okay.
sign out then.
Okay.
Leroy, love you.
Excellent. Right on. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy
Feliz
birthday. Happy
cumpleaños.
birthday.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mariella.
Thank you so much. I really
All
enjoyed
right.
today.
Oh man, this is awesome. Finally, like season one. Thank you,
Yes.
Mariella.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Hey Ray, you can. Are we done? Oh, okay. Baby, come here. Okay. So everybody out there, we got so happy with the. I shouldn't have had Damien to hang up so quick. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And as you can see, we have guests now. So tune in, tune in next week. Same fat time, same fat channel. All right.
Bye.